Peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing pretty good myself. Can't complain. God is good. God is great as always. And we here. All right. So listen. While we waiting for one of the biggest fights in history and one of the biggest fights definitely in recent times, in this decade, right? One of the biggest fights between Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. While we waiting for this fight, there's a lot of trolls out there, right? A lot of people just want to have something to say. And, listen, just make it make sense, though. Because if it don't make sense, yeah, everybody has their opinion. I got my opinion. People have their opinion. But let it make at least a little bit of sense. That's all I really say. Don't just say stuff just to say it. You know what I mean? People like to just say stuff just to say it, man. So anyway, while we're waiting for this big fight to happen, Terrence Crawford is 38-0, 29 knockouts. No losses, no draws, right? And Errol Spence is same thing. No losses, no draws. He's 26-0 with 22 knockouts, right? Errol Spence is coming off his last win against Yordenis Ugas, and Terrence Crawford is coming off his last win off of Sean Porter. So again, here go the trolls, right? People want to compare and say, well, nowadays people's putting it out there that Errol Spence, he breaks people up, he hurts people so bad that when they fight now, they're not the same, or they're on a losing streak. And of course they're talking about Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, and Danny Garcia in particular. So, of course, I'm gonna give you the facts, right? So after Mikey, first of all, let's keep it real. I don't give Errol Spence no credit for Mikey Garcia. This is where hypocrisy comes in. Just like in the video I made yesterday where I talked about how Errol Spence, after Ugas beat Pacquiao, he was saying how old Pacquiao was and he was over the hill and all of that. But this is the same man he was trying to fight, though. He was calling out Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao never called him out. Manny Pacquiao answered the call and was going to fight him. But Errol Spence kept calling him out. So if this dude is old and not the same Pacquiao, why you want to fight him? What was that going to do for your career? But you're going to take credit away from Ugas because he beat him? See, so that to me is nonsense, right? I don't like that. So here we go again. Errol Spence don't get no credit from me for beating Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia could have said whatever he wanted to. You could have said, nah, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, man, the dude's a lightweight. He's a lightweight, bro. That came up to 140 and fought you at 147. But he's naturally a lightweight. He's a little dude, all right? So you're not getting no credit from me for that win. And you didn't stop him anyway. So, nah, you don't get credit for that Mikey Garcia win. But for those who say Mikey Garcia ain't the same, well, Mikey Garcia came back and he fought twice after Errol Spence. And he fought Jesse Vargas and he won. And then he fought Sandor Martin, who a lot of people didn't really know about. I didn't know too much about him, but it wasn't like he got beat down. It was a close fight. You could give it to Martin. Some people said it was closer than it was. But it ain't like he got beat up. It ain't like he got damaged. Okay, so if he came back and had one fight and won, and he had two fights and he's 1-1, then what did Errol Spence do to him? If anything, the first fight back, he would have got beat up, he would have got knocked out, he would have got hurt, but that didn't happen. So Errol Spence didn't do anything to Mikey Garcia. It's his own commitment and dedication to the game. And it's what he really wanted to do after that Errol Spence, before and after that Errol Spence fight. I'm sure he was disappointed, but I felt like he could have did much better too in that fight. So I don't know what he learned or what he didn't learn. But he's not damaged after Errol Spence, okay? Now we move to Sean Porter. Sean Porter definitely ain't damaged because he gave Errol Spence the hardest fight of his life. You look at Errol Spence after that fight and look at Sean Porter's face. Sean Porter didn't look like he was in no fight. But Errol Spence looked like he was in 2 fights, 3 fights. He got beat up a lot. He got hit in the face a lot. Sean Porter jumped into him. And when I say jumped into him, like he jumped into him, like he didn't hesitate to go forward on Errol Spence, the bully, the weight bully, the knockout dude, the machine that y'all call him. Like Sean Porter didn't hesitate to jump into his lane, to get into his space, is what I'm saying. Sean Porter was constantly jumping in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had no problem with that. So, where was he damaged? And he fought Errol Spence to a close decision. And if it wasn't for that knockdown, could have got that win. Should have been no less than a draw, to me, and a lot of people. So, cut it out. He didn't do no damage to Sean Porter. Okay? Sean Porter came back and fought Sebastian Formella. And then he fought Terrence Crawford, pound for pound, who some believe is the #1 pound for pound best fighter in the world right now. Give or take with Canelo. Now Canelo lost, so people want to, take him down and say he's not pound for pound over 1 loss, even though he got 57 wins. It's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another story. That's another video. But he didn't do no damage to Sean Porter. Now we move to Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia been fighting for 15 years, man. And Danny Garcia was a junior welterweight, all right? So let's remember that. Super lightweight, junior welterweight. That's how he started. And he had 2 losses before he fought Errol Spence. So what did Errol Spence do? Errol Spence didn't do nothing to him. He had a loss to Keith Thurman, and he had a loss to Sean Porter, right? 2 close fights. So he didn't do nothing to him. And he's getting ready to fight Jose Benavidez at 154. So if he was damaged, damn sure wouldn't be moving up the fight at 154. So cut it out, man. If you like Errol Spence, that's fine. I like Crawford. But just keep it real on what you're saying. Okay, Spence ain't damaging nobody. And like I keep saying, if you're not going to give Crawford credit for Kell Brook and Sean Porter, I'm not giving Errol Spence credit for Kell Brook because Triple G damaged him first. He damaged his orbital bone first. The left eye, the right eye, I don't know which one it was, but he damaged him first. And he fought Errol Spence not too long after that. He probably needed more of a rest, but it wasn't even 2 years. He fought Errol Spence and got it damaged again, but he gave Errol Spence a tough fight. Okay? Up until that 11th round when he stopped him. So cut it out. 6 rounds, Crawford got him up out of there. Okay? So that's how I roll, man. Give credit where credit is due. All right? Ugas, I thought he had a better plan. I thought that trainer had a better plan for him because he said he was studying him, how he throws his punches, how he throws his hook. They didn't have a good plan. Why would you stand right in front of him? I know Ugas fights a certain way, and I'm not thinking that all of that was going to change in one night because he fights a certain way. He stands in front of you, he counters, he tries to move a little bit, but he don't have the best defense, and he's not the fastest, even though he counters. But I didn't think he was just going to stand right there and be a heavy bag for Errol Spence, which is what he did. You can't stand right in front of the man. You got to move a little bit. You got to make him come to you and then connect, counter like that. See? Countering is an art to countering. You know what I'm saying? Countering is he's throwing punches, and when he throw, soon as he throw, you come, boom. Or you let him throw, you make a miss, you throw. Right? You make a miss, you throw. But it's also just him, you know what I'm saying? It's also creating your space to do it, not just standing right in front of somebody where, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to counter, you don't want to be countering where you're getting hit and then you keep countering. No, not countering you I want to counter you off a miss. You know what I'm saying? I want to counter you off a miss. That's how I want to counter you. You throw your shot, bam. You throw your shot, bam. You know what I mean? You throw your shot, bam. I want to counter you like that. I don't want to always counter you off of getting hit. And if I counter you off of getting hit, I want it to mean something. I want it to have some effect to it. So Ugas, he didn't counter enough. And when he got Errol Spence hurt in that middle round, he didn't finish it up. He did hurt him. He knocked that mouthpiece out, but then he didn't go for nothing. He just let it stay right there. So that's on him. So, that wasn't no big win for me. That was a fight that I was going for Ugas. I thought Ugas had more to give, especially at that Manny Pacquiao fight, but it's about how serious you are, committed you are, and what your game plan is. A, B, and C. If your first game plan ain't working, do something else. Go to B, go to C. Sometimes it's like that. Okay? But they didn't have more than one plan. And so it ended up like that. So again, we waiting for Crawford and Spence. We could talk all we want, man, but the fight needs to happen. It will happen. And then we're going to see. All right? But Errol Spence is not no bully, man. He's not crushing nobody and dogging nobody and making people quit and making people end their career, right? Because like I said, if that was the case, Danny Garcia wouldn't be fighting again. All right? Mikey Garcia wouldn't have fought again. And Sean Porter said he was going to retire before that Errol Spence fight, I believe. But at the same time, he didn't want to pass up on an opportunity to fight one of the best fighters in his generation, Crawford. So he fought him, and he gave his best. But his father stopped the fight, in my opinion, because he didn't want to see his son get knocked out. Whether it was going to be the last fight or not. If he would have won that fight, who knows what Sean Porter would have did. He might have stayed in the game, especially if it was a big win. Like he hurt him or, I'm saying, outpointed him 12 rounds. If it was a unanimous decision, who knows what Sean Porter would have did. So we really can't say. We don't know. But at the end of the day, he didn't do that. He got dominated. And he got knocked down twice, something that's never happened. All right? So that's the facts. And we got to deal with the facts. We can all have our opinion, but let's deal with the fact. Let's deal with what was, or let's deal with what is. Okay? So that's really what I got. Peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Please subscribe to the page. Leave your comments. Everybody be safe out there. Peace.